landscape mode. That's cool, I guess. Interesting. Okay. Well, welcome. Hi, everybody. Welcome. So I was having a bunch of trouble with the stream. To reiterate, as I've said many, many times, I fucking hate YouTube, and I just swore in the first. Well, I guess it wasn't. I don't know. I don't know what the rules are. Anyway, so I was trying to upload a thumbnail, and I did. I uploaded a thumbnail like 5 fucking times, like over the course of since I started the stream, and it kept erasing it. So I was not trying to update or upload a thumbnail, and I was just trying to go live, and then it froze, and it wouldn't let me do anything on the app at all. So then I just minimized the app or whatever, and then it just went live. And for some reason, it's in landscape. I don't know why it's in landscape, but here we are. And also, I'm not seeing. Oh, there we go. I do see the chat, sort of. That's super weird. YouTube is a piece of shit, and I fucking hate it here. Anyway, welcome to the stream. I'm gonna grab my other phone so I can read the chat reliably. Glad to see y'all here. Anyway, yeah, fuck yeah, okay. I'm surprised by the landscape mode, but I'm pleasantly surprised. It's a happy accident. Um, yeah. So, drama at Slab City Library. Well, let me tell you a thing or two about drama at the library. There's stuff happening and things and it's just there's stuff and things, and it's so. Yep, you're right, King of Prussia. It's drama for your mama. Let me tell you. It's actually no, it's a clickbait title, guys. You should know this by now. If there's like multiple exclamation marks after a word in caps, it's totally just clickbait. And YouTube loves that. YouTube loves that fucking shit. So whatever. We did that. And that's not to say that I'm not gonna talk about like that type of thing, because there is often situations that need to be dealt with, and there was like a situation where a person that was staying at the library recently, and like kind of was fronting like he was gonna be around to help, and he's just been nothing but a pain in the ass for folks. And so he's not crew anymore. So I don't know. He's supposed to be moving out today. He was camping there. He told me he was only going to be there for 2 weeks, but then he was telling other people at the library that he was trying to stay there this summer, and then lied about some other crew members who did a lot to help the library while over the last few weeks. And all it takes is one person to bring some fucking stupid drama. And it's like, at this time of year, especially after all that's happened at the library, ain't nobody got fucking time for that. So dude's out. Hopefully, the door don't hit him on the way out, and hopefully he gets the fuck out ASAP. Um, so yeah, because we don't need that shit. Other than that, it's great. There's us, a couple other folks for crew that are working hard and making things nice. And I just got off the phone with another slabber, and she's got a recommendation for another person that she thinks would be a good fit at the library. So I'm gonna give her a call back after the stream. Actually, I mean I could call her on stream, but I don't know. I want to be able to. I don't want to have to worry about not saying things that I shouldn't say on YouTube or whatever. I want to actually have a candid conversation without an audience. But anyway, yeah. So good news, a little bit of annoying news. I'm sick of hearing about this dude, and it's so I kind of wanted to use it as an opportunity to talk about just other, because it's not the first time that there's been a crew member or that's become an issue. And if you've been following along with the library stuff over the last few weeks, you know that there was some very serious drama going on over there, and it looked like the library possibly could burn down. It got trashed. It got all fucked up. And we removed the threat with as little issue as possible. Um, and so we've just kind of been trying to rebuild, and it's been going great. The roof looks amazing, and so we're trying to. I'm gonna bring at least one other friend, possibly two friends, and if people hit me up and want to ride along, um, maybe more than that pretty soon here, and we're gonna go down and just bust some ass and work on some stuff, um, and get things prepared for the summer so that our resident librarian, new fella who's serious about taking on the task of library curator, will have as easy of a time as possible over this next season. So that's the goal right now, is just to make things as functional and livable for the next few months as possible. That's also why I'm gonna shamelessly plug my money apps. That's also why I've been encouraging folks to donate. If you want to donate to help the library, there's links in the description there. And the captain's in chat too, and he's already posting links like a fucking badass. So, if you want to send some funds to help the library, just drop something in there, and you can leave a note if you want, like for Slab City Library or whatever, if you want to do that. But, it's not necessary. All of my funds are going to literally just keeping myself alive and getting to Slab City Library and putting, funds into that space so that it can continue to become better and grow and hopefully find stability again. Um, let's see. I'm just gonna catch up in chat here. Captain says I prefer landscape. Me too, dude. Me too. The only reason I haven't been doing landscape is because when I try to, the app freezes and then it's all shitty and stupid, and like they've got I don't know, millions and millions of dollars in this company, and they can't make things work right, make it make sense. I don't know. It's fucking annoying. Um, Actually, I'm gonna flip. Usually, I got caught by surprise with the landscape thing. It just happened. I don't know why it happened. Um, but I'm gonna flip my camera around because I usually have the camera over on this side so that when I scroll, because I'm a lefty, so when I scroll through the chat, my hand's not in the way of the camera. Anyway. Hey, what's up, Terry? Jaden and I are doing good. Hell yeah. Um, hmm. Hell yeah. What's up, Zoe Larkin? Ziva's a lefty too. Nice. Yeah, lefties unite. What do you guys think of my shirt, huh? Hmm. I tried a little bit of trans tape again, so I'm stoked on this. I went out to go take Satan around the block, and I got like, it's funny, but like the more I pass as male, the more men are nice to me. It's the weirdest thing. I did not expect that, but like guys will like see me, especially when I'm wearing like the zesty shit, and they'll be like, hey, like very very friendly. Um, I I don't understand it, but it's kind of fun. Guys like men like a man's man. I tell you what, they're very friendly. Um, yeah. So over over many years running the library, there's been all sorts of strange occurrences and you know issues between crew members and stuff like that. So I mean, it's it's a anarchist collective kind of situation. The library, if you don't know, is a squat on an abandoned military base that I created the address for um, about 10 years ago now. Wait, yeah, about 10 years ago now. And I've learned a lot about like squatters' rights through that and how to coexist in a community type of setting. And the best way I can describe it is like an autonomous collective, but also with like I don't really know like the bookie language to call it. It's like because I lived there at the library and was curating it, and it's my address. But the library itself was run as an autonomous collective, so it's like there's like the residential squatter versus library crew dynamic, which are kind of separate in a way. Um, so like at when it really comes down to it, um, like final decision making for like the property and whatnot would be like mine because I was living there. But if somebody had been living there for a long term, then it would be they also would have kind of like final say too. And there have been points where there were people that were living there long term. So it's like, and then for like decision making within the crew, then it was more of like a collective, like we'd have crew meetings and talk about like what we wanted to do that week for the library, or like what chores we wanted to put a priority on, or things that we would like to see, and whatever. But the library has always had like a strict no drama policy. Once somebody starts bringing drama into the space, then it's like, okay, you're gone. Like, no, zero drama tolerance. And that's always been a hard rule. So obviously, I'm not living there at the library right now. I've been living here in LA, working on my own LA stuff, but I have been, going back and forth to the library enough. And, at the end of the day, it's still my address on my government stuff. And I've, been living there for like a decade or so. So it's definitely what's the word? It's blazing a trail, like kind of figuring out what the language is and what how we operate it with the new management, and what that means to be management, like what's the roles, what's expected, what's okay and what's not okay. And the library might not have even survived like So at this point, we're kind of just in like a point of not chaos per se, but like a transitional phase. Um, so it's it's interesting. And the fella that's staying at the library that's taken on curatorship, he doesn't have any experience in anarchist spaces and autonomous collectivism and that sort of thing. And you know what? Like, it's one of those situations where I don't have a lot of options. The community doesn't have a lot of options. We just kind of put an open call out for anyone brave enough to take it on. Um, so I'm just grateful that there's somebody there that is serious about staying, because otherwise we'd have to close the library down for the summer and just hope for the best. And also rehome the cats, which that like those cats are born and raised there. They belong at the library. The only place that they could live elsewhere would be like, a farm, a nice farm where they could just like be like indoor outdoor cats and stuff. The great mousers, like, they could not be indoor cats by any means whatsoever. They Yeah, they would lose their fucking little kitty minds. um, let's see if I'm missing stuff. It looks like Kim kicked down on the Venmo. Thank you so much, Kim. And it looks like you did like a few minutes ago. So sorry I didn't see that until just now. Thank you very much. I'm going to take a look and see if somebody else did too, so I don't fuck up my stream. Does anybody have any questions about Slab City Library and how we handle situations and drama and stuff? Like, now's your chance to ask questions if you have questions about that sort of thing. And I'm just gonna check the money apps and see if anybody kicked down on the Cashapp or anything like that. Kim says, "Yeah, boy, got my slab shirt too." That's awesome. Hell yeah. I I love that. Send me pics if you want on the Discord or something. Oh yeah, join the Discord server too, folks, if you've not done that already. All right, nothing in the Cashapp. Okay. Um yeah, I guess in in the past, when there has been like, when I would invite people to stay in the library, like the property area, there's tons of space for people to camp out. It's built for that. Like, it's maybe like 2 acres, or yeah, it's about 2 acres, 3 acres, something like that. Maybe even four. Um, it's probably about 3 acres if I'm thinking about it. Um, and when people come to camp, they understand that they're camping. They're campers. They don't get to come in and start throwing their balls around and tell people what to do, or have like equal say in what's happening at the library, because they're just campers, which is great. We love having campers, but it's not like, you know um, and at any time, if they become more trouble than they're worth having around, then they get to go. But we don't really like. We never had like a formal, like, oh, it's not $2 a night, $20 a night or whatever the hell, and you don't have to, you don't make reservations. You just show up and help out and set up your tent in the area that you've been given to use, and don't trash the place, and don't be an asshole, and don't bring weirdos to the yard, right? Um, and if somebody's wandering around in the yard that shouldn't be there, then you tell them to fuck off. And if they don't fuck off, then you tell them, one of the librarians. But like, there's campers and then there's crew. If you're trying to be part of crew, you have to at least put in as much as you're taking out of the library. So like, if you're using the kitchen, you also need to be cooking and doing dishes. If you're eating food from the library, you need to also bring food in. If you're, using resources, you need to also bring resources in. And if you're going to be hanging out in the library all day, you better be working, or doing like reading and doing what using it as a library. Um, and sometimes it seems simple enough, right? Like if you're gonna be posting up in the library, you gotta at least be sorting books or like dusting part of the time, and the rest of the time, like don't be in the way of the librarians while they're running the library, and don't be taking up all the space when you're not doing anything. Like it's pretty straightforward. But some people, they come into the space and they just all they care about is what's in it for them, and at a certain point, you you got to ask them to go. Like, they're not banned from the library unless they make it necessary, but like, they can't just come in and take from the library. The thing about being at the library is that, your number one priority um, what's the word I'm looking for? My brain's making dumb. You want to make the library more gooder, okay? You want to gooder up the library. You want to improve the space and like help, and it becomes really obvious if that's not what you're doing. Like some people will come in and just like pretend to look busy dusting shelves when I would be around, and then like I'd go do some chores or something and come back and catch them spanging tourists and like acting like they built the library or something, or somebody would come in for an interview and they'd be like, oh yeah, I built this and I did that, blah blah blah. And it's like, bro, you've been here for 2 days, go fuck yourself. Right. um and Hi Bubba. So when that happens, I'll tell a person like, okay, you know what? It's time to go. We don't need you here camping because you're just taking from the library. You're not putting effort back into the library. Um, that can't stand. Um, and usually they'll be cool about it, and they'll be, especially if you're like cool about it too, and just be like, sorry man, it's just not working out. Like you're not banned from the library. You can come and check out books and hang out and get stuff off the free table and like come to events and stuff. It's not a big deal. We just don't want you camping here anymore because it's honestly more trouble than it's worth at this point. And if you say it nice, they'll be like, okay, that sucks, but all right, like, but sometimes you get somebody who's gonna be a fucking little punk ass bitch about it, and be like, oh, I don't have to leave. You can't tell me that because I live here now and blah 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 or whatever the fuck, and or they'll act like they're gonna get ready to leave, and then it's like the next day, and they're not doing anything to like clean up and get ready to leave, and they're just like hanging around. Um, I'll usually give people, especially if they've been there for a while, I'll usually give people like 2 or 3 days to get their shit together and go, and offer them help to like move their stuff to wherever they want to be at. I'm not gonna just like straight up throw them into the street and be like, go fuck yourself. But anyway, sometimes that does happen. But you got to give people a chance to be decent about it first before you know, bring that in. Um, and in the case where they're being a difficult fucking asshole about it, um, then I'll usually, like after giving them um, the kind of notice that it's their time to go, check back in the next day. If they're still not working on it, then remind them, be like, look, dude, you got fucking 24 hours to get the fuck out of here. You're dragging your feet now, and you're starting to piss me off. And give them, kind of go back and remind them, be like, all right, you better be packing, dude. And if they're still not by the end of that next day, then what I would do is me and another crewmate or something would go into their camp, gather up all their stuff, and move it for them, and just take it and move it out. Um, not like steal any of their shit or damage any of their shit, just like pack it up for them since they're having so much trouble pack it up for them and put it out, you know, on the, like, not on the road, but like on the other side of the street, just like in a nice neat pile for them. Because like, at that point, what are they gonna do? They're not gonna grab their stuff and like move it back in to that space. All their stuff is out now. So then it's like they can't just leave it there because it's in the middle of the desert, all in the open. They have to like move it somewhere else. So that's like the easiest way to do it. Um, Very, very rarely somebody will become combative about it and try to start some bullshit. And, I'm not going to tell you detailed exactly what happens in that situation, but, you know, sometimes, sometimes you have to help people leave, you know? And it's the Wild West out there. It's the desert. And, if people are going to fuck around, and then they can find out. And I've had situations like this a number of times. Most of the time, it's like it'll be like the first scenario where they're kind of like sad or upset or maybe even like kind of bitchy about it or whatever. But they'll, begrudgingly get their shit together and go. Um, and then, like, sometimes you get people dragging their feet and making it an issue, and it's like a 48-hour ordeal, and it's just a fucking bitch for everybody, and it's really annoying because it's like they were already being uh um what is it, an inconvenience to the library. They were already doing like exactly what a person that stays at the library shouldn't do, which is make things more difficult for people who are actually running the library. And then to also make it a problem as they're leaving, it's just like such a selfish fucking thing to do. And it's just like, you know, there's, it's just an honorless thing, and it's a selfish thing, and it sucks, and it's really inconvenient. Um, so that's usually what happens, and then once they're gone, they're gone. Like, we don't need to talk shit on them or anything. It's just like, all right, well, that was a pain in the ass, and now it's done, and we can get back to work. Um, but there have definitely been a few situations where it gets to be a real big issue, and I don't like having to remove people from the library property, but sometimes they make it necessary. I'm gonna go outside and smoke a little cigarette. Yeah, anybody have any questions about that? That was a chicken nugget burp. Just made myself some chicken nuggies. Oh, Captain's heading out. Thanks for your help, Captain. Appreciate you today. Noah asked, how did you end up with the library in the start? Were you just helping them? No, dude, I built most of the library. Like, I built the library. Like, I reestablished the ruins of what was left of it. Like, that's there. It was ruins. And there's, like, if you go back to my early videos, and there's also a playlist of Slab City Library stuff. Like I did that. That's, yeah. It had been, what was left of the library had been abandoned for a good 10 years. And if I hadn't moved in when I did, then it wouldn't have existed anymore at all. It was like pretty much like just barely hanging on what was left of it. And Rosalie built the original library, which is the front room of what the library is today, and I built most of the rest of the space. There was a group of college kids that came out a few years before I moved in that built part of the main area, which is actually what we ended up replacing a lot of the roof for recently. And I had replaced a lot of that roof before because that was all caved in and collapsed when I moved in. Um, but yeah, so now at this point, um, I've built like 95% of the library that exists today. Um, especially with like repairs and stuff too. But now that I'm not living there, um, I have been like the roof build recently. Um, there were a number of extra hands, and I've had help with like some of the some of the construction over the years as well. But like it's all my design and execution. Noah kicked down. Thanks, Noah. Hell yeah. Let me take a look. Jamie says, I've seen that done before in Colorado. The town people packed up a family and dropped their stuff on the county line. It was crazy to see. That's how it is sometimes, especially out in the middle of nowhere in rural parts. And we don't like cops in slabs. Like, I'm not gonna call somebody else to take care of my space. That doesn't make any sense, especially when you're like squatters and stuff. Like, you kind of just have to deal with things on your own, and I prefer that, honestly. Cops just get in the way, and like the whole bureaucratic bullshit just makes things more difficult, because then it's like, oh, I gotta, oh, thanks, Noah, I just got the notification. Fuck yeah, appreciate you very much. um because like it's it's a squat, and like people don't, there's not like, we don't do that bureaucratic shit. It's just like, on a person's honor. um and I'm sure in a lot of places in the US where it's like that, more off grid, or like not in the city, where if somebody is being a complete jackass to everybody in a community, then you got to do what you got to do. Got to protect your community. Cops don't protect your community, man. Community protects community. Tammy says they didn't play around. The police said they couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, I mean, what are they gonna do about it? Especially if you're not like there legally, or like in the eyes of the law. You're just, like, there's no like paper trail about it. You're just there, and then you're not. Like, nobody got hurt, and there's, what are you gonna do? Sue them? You can't. You have no standing legally. Especially if nobody talks. Nobody talks, everybody walks, right? When the cops do get involved, they at least respect your claim space in the slabs. Yeah, like if you've, like, there are squatters' rights in California. If you've been occupying a place, and it's like, um, it's recognized, like you can prove that you've been occupying a space for a while. Like, they have to respect it, especially if you have like property, like a trailer or an RV that's in your name. They can't fuck with that. They can't enter it. It's the same rules as like your house. They can't. If you've got a trailer that legally belongs to you, then that's your property. So like, if somebody had a trailer on the property, at the library, say, um, that's been there for a certain amount of time, then the police can't move it for you. And you can't legally move it either. But like I said, nobody talks, everybody walks, right? So like, if all the police know is that there was a trailer there one day and now it's over there, then like, they can't do anything about it. Especially if nobody got hurt. All they can do is take statements. So it's, and yeah, the library property is my legal residence, so there's rules that go along with that. legally. But I prefer to keep the state out of it because I'm an anarchist. I'm not a big fan of the state. Mm-hmm. But yeah, right now for the library, like we are trying to still find more people who do want to join the collective and be stewards of the library so that it can continue to serve the community. There is one fella that's going to be there for the summer, and we're trying to make it as comfortable for him as possible so he can last. And then, come fall, we'll be able to take on more crew and more people come around and start working with that. But, it's a learning curve for this guy. And there's another crewmate there that's been doing a lot of help. He's been doing a lot of work there. He's been doing a great job. So that's what we got right now. Plus this fucking drain, this suck on our fucking space that's been causing nothing but problems and taking credit for shit that he didn't do. And lying about other crewmates who have been there helping to, to our curator. So that's no good. And hopefully they're handling it today. And according to what I've heard, he's agreed to leave today. So I'm just waiting on updates now. It's just annoying that this is going on a weekend when the library is open to the public, because it just makes things so much harder for people that are actually running the space and taking care of it to also have to deal with this. It's a very selfish thing. I don't understand people who want to come and like make things more difficult for people running a public library for a place like Slab City. It's fucking disgusting, honestly. Yeah, it's extremely selfish, and it doesn't just like rob the people that are living there and taking care of it, but it robs the community of their work within the library as well. It's a detriment to a space that serves a lot of people. I'm just gonna check and see if there's any messages that I'm missing on my other phone here. Let's see. And if you have any more questions, comments, etc., now's your chance. People ask me about what's going on at Slabs and what's going on at Slab City Library every fucking stream I do. So if you don't ask your questions during a stream when I'm actually talking about that, then, you can fucking shut the hell up. I don't know. Oh my god, and the YouTube app is like just freezing on my phone here now too. It's so annoying. Yeah, that's really annoying. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns. Oh, there's me. Let's see. A little power changes peeps. Yeah, and it's like, it's like the conceived prestige that comes with being a librarian at Slab City Library. Like, people just, it's like the littlest amount of power. Like, really, you're just like a servant of the community. But, some people are like, oh, what's in it for me? How can I benefit from this? And they get a little bit of clout from helping out at a fucking public library, a community anarchist library, and all they want to do is go around telling everybody that'll listen, like, oh, I work at the library, blah 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 blah, and then they don't. It's like, dude, like, get a real fucking life. Like, It's crazy. Bryant says, "Did you know Apache?" Yeah, Apache passed away back in 2016. He actually lived at the library for a while too. He was one of those crew members that we actually had to remove. um, he, um, he was fun to have around for a while, but then he started, you know, getting more into drug and alcohol abuse and just became a problem. So we actually like had to dismantle his camp for him and help him move. But after that, like we were cool again, and he would still come by the library as well. Um, yeah, rest in power, Apache. But it's like that just because you fuck up at the library and have to get moved out doesn't mean that like everybody hates you or whatever. It's just like it's just a matter of fact type of thing. Like if it ain't working out, it ain't working out. Zivas is asking, this isn't the person who destroyed it. That was a woman, right? Did she leave Slab City? Yeah, Brandy is gone. She was removed from the library when I went there the first time, and it was a bitch. I talked about it on another one of my library streams a few weeks ago, but I think she's still in Slabs. I don't know. Hopefully, she's not being a problem for somebody else, but she probably is. Are there new places being built at Slabs? Yes, every season people build new establishments or, you know, temporary camps, seasonal camps, or whatever. But this time of year, people aren't trying to build new camps. It's the time of year when you're trying to fortify your existing camp for the summer. I don't know who Barb is, Brian. SWAT asks, is the library still doing okay now? Yeah, that's what I've been talking about this whole stream. This is a library update stream. Other than that one camper causing issues for the librarians there right now, it's going great. Hopefully today has been less stressful and that he's gone now. How long did it take to get the fence up around the library? There actually was, I made a video about it, and I've talked about it before, but we got most of the fence up with a crew of like 7 other people besides me in like 3 days. It was a lot of work. It took a lot longer to gather all the materials. And there's still like a portion of it that's unfinished, and I've been wanting it to be finished, but it's a matter of getting materials and stuff. And while I wasn't there over the last like few months or however long, people have been nerping our materials, so I'm kind of mad about that. So that's another reason why I've been pushing for donations for helping rebuild the library. And so if you want to, you can get down with the Kickdown. Hit one of the links in the description there. It's PayPal, Venmo, and Cashapp. Nice piece of property when you had it. I mean, yeah, I still have it in some sense, and it's looking great. The library itself is looking nicer than ever, other than the books are not organized like they should be. It's functional for sure, but the collection needs a lot of work. But the structure itself is pretty good. Especially thanks to folks that threw down for like a lot of that corrugated tin and stuff that went up for the roof. That really just made it so much better. And having a good roof for the summer is really, really important because that's, that's the shade structure that keeps you cool, keeps the sun off of you. And we can gather more supplies to finish the fence out. Mm-hmm. Any other library related questions? I'll take your questions. Now I'm just kicking it. We got 15 minutes left of stream here, so ask away. And if you haven't hit the like button, make sure you hit that like button. I want to see that number going up. Let's go. Oh, somebody got it. Nice. Good job. Fuck yeah. Man, I wish I had like a soda or something to drink. Can you make it bigger? I have made it bigger. It's huge. It's a big space. We do need more lumber and stuff to rebuild some of the shelving because a lot of the shelves got destroyed. Hey, cool. I'm seeing the thumbs up going up. Good job, guys. Keep hitting that like button. Man, there's like some kind of crazy event going on the street out here. There was like a parade of people coming down the street earlier. Pretty interesting. It's like some kind of Catholic march or something. How many books in the library? Back when I was running the library, there was somebody that did like library book estimates and counted books in libraries. And they made a rough estimate that there was probably around 3,000 books in the library. Right now, definitely a lot less, especially since a lot of the shelves were destroyed and also a lot of the books were destroyed because the roof was destroyed and it was raining, and I don't know how long, it was going unkempt, but like we lost like half our books. And a lot of those books were like really nice, and some of them were historical and like really old books. Treva, I already answered that. I don't think Brandy's left the slabs. She's not at the library anymore, obviously. I'm not gonna just like let somebody that destroyed the library hang out there. Once you start wrecking the library, you're fucking gone. You don't get to be there anymore. And she's obviously perma-banned from the library. She stole a lot of stuff from there and let other people steal a lot of stuff from there. We're still cleaning up after the mess she made. So yeah, fuck you, Brandy. Not welcome. Are you thinking about the 24-hour live stream? What do you mean 24-hour live stream? How's my fur child? I don't... Ew. I hate it when people call pets that. I don't... Yeah, that's... You're talking about my dog. My dog is good. She's right inside. She's on every single stream of mine. I'll give her a treat in a minute here. Why? Because it's gross. Fur child? Like what? Simone says, have you been able to find more of your childhood keepsakes that got destroyed? Yeah, people have been finding them around the library. Um, they're they're just like scattered all over the place. I'm sure a lot of it got destroyed, unfortunately. So that's another issue. But yeah, they're finding more of my stuff and putting it aside so I can take a look at it when I get back. So Cora says, agreed, that's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's like, I've never heard like somebody that isn't a white person refer to their dog as your fur child, your fur baby. Like, that's, I don't know, man. It just sounds like a sex thing. It's weird. Also, like, dogs aren't your children. You know, have you ever seen somebody post an update on like Facebook or something on like Mother's Day, and it's like I'm a mother too. I have a dog, and it's like, bitch, you're not a mother if you just like. That's not the same thing at all. Like raising a human child is not the same as having a dog. I'm sorry. Not trying to roast you or anything, but it's yeah. I'm trying really hard to not be mean about it. Actually, people can log in on much what's going on. That I was talking about doing like security cameras and being able to monitor the library if nobody could be there or if there's people that were going to be checking in and stuff, make sure nobody trashes the place. I didn't say anything about like that being a thing. That was a good idea, and people could watch from afar, have like a link or something. But that also, like, to get a couple of security cameras, it would cost like $200, and that is something that we could do, but that's not a priority now. The big priority is just having somebody be there and be present to keep an eye on the place. And like the purpose of having security cameras at the library is not for other people's entertainment, it's for security. And if there was security cameras set up, there would be, there would be, like, a practicality of having it available for people to check in on, because then if something weird was going on, then there'd be more people watching, and then they could notify me and be like, hey, I saw somebody going and digging around in your scrap pile, or somebody entered the library that nobody recognizes or whatever. So that's like the reason why I would have the security footage available for people to see. But logistically and what is it, like, infrastructure wise, it's a difficult thing. And at this point, like, we're just trying to rebuild the library and make it safe. But that's a possibility. Dylan says, what does the library need most besides books or donations? Lumber. Like I said, we need lumber. So cash donations is the best way to do it. And as far as books, like, we don't need quantity, and we can't put more books up if there's no shelf space. So, like, we need lumber before we get books. And if folks are trying to donate books, we prefer quality over quantity, because like a large donation of a bunch of books that aren't as valuable, like a whole bunch of paperback novels or something. We have a whole bunch of paperback novels. Like, it's more trouble than it's worth to have a whole lot of books that we've already got plenty of. Um, because like it's a semi-outdoor library, so like if there's no shelf space for them, then like there's not much space to store them, um, in a way where they're not going to get trashed or be weathered or something. And another thing that we could definitely use is shade cloth. Shade cloth is something that we always need during the summer and at the beginning of the summer, to keep librarians alive and cool through the summer. So shade cloth is good. Um, and cat food. We can always use cat food. Um, and like human food, obviously. And there is like a water purification system. Somebody donated a nice water filtration system that they send out to like third world countries and stuff, places where there's not clean drinking water. And sadly, it was just stored in and not. It wasn't properly stored, so it's kind of, it needs some work. Um, so that's unfortunate. I don't know what kind of work it needs. I didn't get a chance to look at it last time I was there because there was a bunch of other things going on. But to the person that sent them out, thank you. I'm sorry that the person that was there to receive it didn't use it properly, or even appreciate it as much as they should have, because that was a really nice gift. And yeah, hopefully we'll be able to repair it and get it in working order, because that type of thing is very useful. Yeah, I guess shade cloth. Shade cloth would be the number one thing, other than like actual money donations. Speaking of which, I'm gonna see if anybody got down with Kickdown. And we're almost at the top of the hour here, so if anybody's got any more questions about the library, feel free to ask. Now's your chance. Oh yeah, and I wanted to give a shout out to Riley too. Riley kicked down a few days ago, and I know they're a regular and member of the Discord server as well. So thanks, Riley. I really appreciate that. Um, let's take a look. Thanks for taking the time to update. Yeah, no problem. It's it's something that people ask about a lot, and it's been a lot for me to have to do all this in the middle of all the stuff that I've got going on in the city, and I am really glad to be able to have my hands on it again. But it's a lot, and it is an important community space, and it serves a lot of people. So it's important to have folks know what's going on there, and it's been so long, too long, for folks being in the dark about it, and now that's changing. And it's great. It's a positive outcome for a really negative situation. I'm just glad that it didn't get destroyed, you know. Groovy RV says, sorry I missed so much. Are you going back? Can I go with you? You can show up at the library. I don't even have my own car, dude. Like, I can't be. Like, I'm not. You know, if you want to help, then come out and help. Nobody's stopping you. Zoe asks, how long can you camp there? You mean in Slabs? Like, as long as you want to? It's Slab City. Awesome, I can help. Thank you so much. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, come through. I'll be back down in a few days. And I'll probably be showing up with some friends too. But there's people at the library working on it, so you know, if you do wanna help, then you know. But you know, don't show up expecting somebody to give you like a step-by-step list on what to do. Like, you know, if you can bring lumber, that's great. If you want to help sort books, that's great. Um, like, the most that we need help with from folks is just like general upkeep and tidying, that sort of thing. And when I'm there, I'll be doing some structure work and infrastructure work as well. It's also starting to get hot in Slabs too, so you know, you need to be able to bring your own supplies to keep yourself alive. Like, you know, the library doesn't have the infrastructure that we used to. We don't even have like a solar power system anymore. It's getting worked on, but like if you're not self-contained, then you're not going to be much help. Sorry to say it. You know, so if you have camping experience and off-grid experience, that's a big plus. And if you have a vehicle and you're down to do like supply runs, like grocery runs, and go get drinking water and stuff, then that's a big help for sure. Like if you can show up with a bunch of drinking water and food and stuff, that's a huge help actually. I'm an old lady. I'm still healthy and have my own means. That's cool. Awesome. Yeah, I see you've got RV in your name, so I'm sure you at least have your own sort of setup to work with, so that's great. If you have your own RV or at least a vehicle, that's definitely something that you not necessarily need, but like kind of need, you know? Because if you're just showing up on foot with a backpack, like I do, and I've got a lot of experience, so like I can do that. But if you're doing that, then you know you can't show up to Slabs this time of year expecting other people to take care of you. You know, it's a rugged environment. All right. I'm getting close to the end here, and I got to get ready to do some work actually. So if you got any more questions, comments, concerns, etc., now's your chance. Give you a few more minutes here. Man, I wish I had some weed, for real. I don't though. I haven't had weed in like a week or something like that. It's crazy. Oh yeah, it's Satan puppy treat time. Let's do Satan dog treat time. She's not a fur baby either. She's a full grown old lady now. She's like, she's like, oh shit, I dropped my other phone. In dog years, she's got to be like 60 now or something like that. Mid 50s. Hi, Bubba. Look at this cute, happy dog. Look at this happy dog. Yeah. That's a happy dog. She knows what time it is. You know what time it is, baby. It's the last one. You know what time it is, pup? It's Satan time. You want this? Yeah? Here you go. Crunch. Crunch. Yeah. Yeah, that's good, huh? Let's do a little close-up. Oop. There we go. You're so happy. Is that good, pup? Crunch, 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 crunch. Yeah. That's a happy dog. Satan says, thank you, everybody that donated. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you. Aside from library supplies, this is what you help with when you donate. Puppy dog treats. Yeah. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Zoe says, I would love to help. Well, there's a lot of ways you can help. There's getting down with the kick down. That's the easiest and most direct way to help. All you gotta do is click one of the links in the description for the PayPal, Venmo, or Cash App. Let me grab my phone that's all on the floor. And you can do that from anywhere in the world. And I guess let's see. Another thing you could do to help is we don't really have a good place to send supplies or whatever, but yeah, supply runs or whatever. You can, if you want to show up and help out, then you know you want to be at least mostly self-sufficient and able to work, or you know, I don't know. You can join the Discord server and ask me personally if you want to. There's a Discord server link in the description as well, and I can help you help us. But yeah, right now we're kind of in a transitional phase right now, so it's we're still trying to figure out rebuilding infrastructure. Another thing is, actually, I just remembered a longtime supporter of me and my channel um, there was, so here's a quick story, but there was a situation with one of the crew members a long time ago, a few years ago now, um, and they were there helping out until the moment that I left, and then they started becoming a real big problem and caused a lot of issues at the library and got kicked out. And after they got kicked out, they bought the domain slabcitylibrary.com, and they they put up a bunch of like bullshit about the library, like talking shit on it, and like a bunch of like personal attacks on me on there, like a bunch of like stories from people that hadn't actually ever met me but acted like they had, saying like that I'm a bad person and stuff. So anyway, they stopped paying for the domain name, and then this other person bought it. So now she owns slabcitylibrary.com, and so we have it, and she wants to give it to me so that we can use it. So if you're somebody that designs websites and you want to design a website for Slab City Library, we do have that. So that would be something that would help. And then we can do something with that. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. That is something I just thought of that we actually could do. Cool says that apartment looks sick, or is it a studio? It's an art studio. This is my friend's art. This is Mish Miller's art. Just a moment says, was that cyclist? Yes. Yeah, and they've like in doing that, they got themselves canceled from like every anarchist space. Um, they're fucking blacklisted, cop calling piece of shit, among other things. They're somebody that makes a career of trying to take down anarchist spaces. I don't know what their deal is, but yeah, they're a piece of shit. Groovy RV says, building websites is my long-term field of expertise. Oh, excellent. Yeah, join the Discord server and or send me an email or something at corneliusvango@gmail.com. Let me know, because that would be pretty dope, actually. I've always wanted to get up a website for the library and just never have. So, yeah, that'd be awesome. Thanks. Hell yeah. All right, last chance. Last call for questions, comments, etc. Because I got to get on with my day and do some other stuff. And I got to go work. And it's nice to see y'all too. I'm glad that I've been having more energy to stream and update people on things going on. Cause it's cool. And I'm really happy that for I don't know why, but the stream ended up in landscape. So I'm gonna try and make that happen again. Some type of chaos witchcraft. I don't know. This time YouTube glitched in my favor. Cheers. I'm gonna grab some more water here real quick. Gotta wait for it to filter here. I ain't gonna buy water in those little plastic water bottles. That's not my style. I'm just filtering some water here. And another way you can help me is by hitting the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Check out some of my other videos too, especially my edited ones. You know, it helps my channel, and the more new viewers I get on my channel, the more means I have to keep building. You know, many things. The library and you know, the life that I'm trying to build here, etc. It helps and build my career, I guess, as a YouTuber. I never really thought thought of myself as being like a career YouTuber or anything. I just started making these videos because I didn't want to lose all the footage and videos that I was making of my life and stuff. I wanted to be able to, you know, I've had so many hard drives and computers and stuff broken and lost and stolen over the years that I got sick of like losing all the old pictures and things. And also because like, you know, I can describe what I do and what Slab City is like, but it really doesn't do it justice, you know. So that's why I started making YouTube videos, among other reasons. But you know, yeah, it's how I get by now. So that's kind of cool, I guess. What a time to be alive, huh? Just a Mom says, always enjoy a relaxed afternoon with you and everyone. Been so lovely in chat. Blessings, Reprobate fam. Yeah, there's been a lot less trolls. I think it's because it's in landscape. I haven't seen any trolls in chat today. That's crazy. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, how many? Okay, before I go, how many of you are regulars? Can you just raise your hand if you're a regular? I just want to see something. And if you're a new person in chat, drop like a smiley face or something. Got Chris Bandit, Burt Bunch, regulars, what's up? I know Just a Mom and Nancy Barton, and seen Zoe before. Moses Law. Frag says, I've been subbed for a long time, but don't always catch your live streams. Okay, cool. Well, glad to see you. Any newbies? Send a smiley face or like a heart or something. Show yourselves. Joshua, what's up? Welcome. Glad to have you. Frag says, same, you're looking good. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I feel like I look pretty nice today. I tried some trans tape for the second time today, so it's kind of fun. Burke says, I'm a quiet watcher, only chat once in a blue moon, but usually listening or catch replays. Okay, that's badass. Ziva's Arc of the Art is a regular. Hell yeah. Yeah, I've seen you around. Cool. All right. Well, cheers, folks. I'm gonna skedaddle now. Thanks so much for joining me, and thanks to everybody that got down with the Kickdown today. If I didn't shout you out for Kickdowns, I'll send you a thank you note or something. I think I got everybody though. Enjoy your day. You too. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hell yeah. I'm having a great weekend so far. I hope y'all are having a great weekend. Just a Mom says sending extra love. Back at you. All right, I'll see y'all later, and keep an eye out for more updates, okay? See y'all soon. Thanks, everybody.